Welcome back to another episode of Brawlin Board Games, where I take two games that are similar or similar enough in style, and I put them up against each other and decide who the winner is. Now, for today's episode, we're going to look at a dice game. We're going to look at two dice game, or is it just really one dice game? So let's find out who's going to be the victor from Zombie Dice versus Batman the Animated Series, the Dice Game. Let's go! Now, looking at the two containers, the two capped cups that both these games come in, to be fair, in all fairness, I'm gonna have to say that let's compare the basic Zombie Dice against the only version that I'm aware of the Batman the Animated Series, the Dice Game. Because there are several different versions of Zombie Dice Game. So starting off looking at their containers, their boxes, their cups that they come in, let's just start with basic for zombies. Now, the cases are fine. They hold up well, even if you travel with them. Tommy V has my old Zombie Dice case, which was the basic one that it comes in, and it's still fine. It still holds up good. It's good, strong material. They have other versions. I currently have all of the Zombie Dice collected inside the deluxe cup. Now, the Batman cup is the same exact material, the same strength as far as I can tell, although I've owned it for less time, and it's still holding up. It's strong, it's durable, it's lasting. So I think the final thing to do is just then to look at the art between the two of them. And to be honest, it comes down to your personal opinion, your preference, whether you prefer the Batman the Animated style art, or if you like something a little more zombie-ish horrific. Fun horrific. It is a family game. Me, personally, as far as the containers go, I'm going to have to give this to Zombie Dice. Now, opening up the containers and seeing what's inside, let's take a look at the dice. This is a dice chucking game versus a dice chucking game, so let's see them whip out those dice. Now, for the zombie game, we find 13 dice. Now, these dice, just like the Batman dice, are unique dice. They're printed with unique icons on them. They don't just have 1 through 6. They are color-coded between yellow, green, and red, and they're done well. I like the dice. I like the fact that they're imprinted. You know, they're stamped and colored. Colored inside the stamp. It's not just a sticker, a cheap-ass sticker put on it that's going to come off sooner or later anyway. They're very well made. They feel well balanced to me, and their size is what I would consider to be the standard 6-sided die size. If there is such a thing, I don't know, but that's the way it feels. It feels to me. Now, on the other hand, we have the Batman dice. Now, the Batman dice is only 10. There's only 10 for the Batman dice. They're also color-coded between gray, yellow, and blue. And they're also imprinted, stamped in. So these black dice, just like the zombie dice, stand out really nice with the colors that are stamped into them. They're a little bit smaller than standard size, not a lot. I think as far as the dice go, it's a push. I don't think either is better than the other, even though you're wondering maybe why I'm giving it a push when there's less dice for the Batman game. And that's because of the way the rules are set up and the fact that it only plays up to 4 players. So it completely makes sense. You don't need more dice than that. That's why, even though there's less in Batman, I'm giving this a push. Now, there is another component that the Batman game has, and that is character tokens. In the Batman game, instead of playing zombies, you're still playing the other side, so to speak, but you're playing the villains in this game. particularly Joker, Catwoman, the Riddler, and Poison Ivy. And each of them has their own unique ability that they can do during the course of the game, and that's laid out in iconography on each of these chips. I think this is a brilliant idea. I always like it when it introduces that concept into the mechanic where everyone's going to have their own little trick. There's nothing to compare this to with the zombie dice. However, the difference is the zombie dice has expansions, which add another 4 dice if you have the 2 expansions. 3 of them are in Zombie Dice 2, and one of them, a giant 12-sided die, is Zombie Dice 3. I think these are a bit comparable, but not completely. I think overall, I'm going to have to give this to Zombie Dice. Even though the Batman Dice game does allow you to do separate and different things as each of the villains, and it's a fun feel to know you're playing these villains, I still think that there's more options with the Zombie Dice and their expansions. So I'm giving this to Zombie Dice. Now, lastly, there's the rules. And the rules are identical. The way they play out, the mechanic of the game, it is really just a reskinning of Zombie Dice, the whole Batman game. You make your rules the same way. It's a Yahtzee-style game, both of them. You're not going to score until you decide to stop pushing your luck. And I think the fact that Zombie Dice can play technically an unlimited amount of players, and Batman the Dice game is only playing up to 4, I got to give this, again, to Zombie Dice. So that's it. The battle is over. They've thrown their blows, and looking at the scores over here, this was not close at all. This was a slobber knocker, and Zombie Dice is the clear winner here. So thank you for joining me. I'm your buddy Big John G for Two Gun Pixie presents Legendary Gaming, and I